Welcome. I'm going to hop right into this video. This is going to be a weekly outlook for this week to come. It is April 8th, and it's a Monday. Going to be going over all of the pairs you see on my list, starting with Euro JPY. So, daily, if I zoom out the daily chart, you see I have these two trend lines, two most recent trend lines right here, and we're in this upwards channel. Lowering to the 4-hour, we have another upwards trend line here, and clearly we are heading upwards. I have these two minor zones in here. You can't really see the zones too clearly off the 4-hour, so if I go down to the 1-hour, you're then able to see these zones. So honestly, what I'm waiting for is price to come back down into this area and bounce from the support zone and also possibly from this trendline area. That would be a good area to get into some buys to then take it back up to the previous highs or even up until this next major 4-hour high up here. That's Euro JPY. NZD JPY, off the daily, we have more of a downwards channel with these trend lines. So the overall structure would be downwards. And if you zoom out to the bigger picture of the daily is we're heading up. But zooming in, like if I were to change these trend lines, then honestly we could even have one right here, which if that's the case, price is bouncing off this daily trend line right here. So this is a bit of an interesting chart. So going into the 4-hour, on the 4-hour, everything is going down and we're bouncing off of this trend line. I'm not really too sure on what's going to happen, to be honest, but what I would like to see happen is, honestly, I would want to see price break above this resistance zone and this resistance zone to then retest it as support so that we can possibly take longs, then ride this all the way back up to the top. If this starts to go down, you could take sells below this support zone, so resistance, and then sell back down to the trend line. But then it's kind of close to the trend line, and remember, this is a daily trend line. So if you want to be totally safe, I would say wait for this zone to get broken and this trend line to get broken before looking for a retest, because price could still bounce at this trend line here as well. So this is a bit confusing. That's why I have it marked yellow, because I'm not really too sure what price is going to do, honestly. We're just gonna have to wait. Euro USD daily, yeah, pretty much going down. Now, for the trend lines, they don't have to be, like, you can have multiple trend lines. They're not really they're not anything specific. Like it can be like that as well. Or if you zoomed out a bit further, you can use these ones back here. I don't know. I kind of just draw them how I like them. That's about it. And then 4-hour, we have all of these shorter term trend lines. I can even take this one off that. Price broke out of that. Now, what I think will happen is I think price will break above this resistance and then retest, and then maybe we can take buys. I just don't exactly like that daily trend line being there. That doesn't look too nice, because price could easily just come up to this trend line area, right, and then bounce away from it. So, but let's say we're not looking at that, and let's just say we're kind of just focused on this set of price action here, then yeah, this would be a phenomenal zone to take buys at. And then if you want to be a bit safer, you can always wait until we get a break, a retest, and then go long. Something like that. But yeah, I'm not too sure. That down, I'm not a fan of that daily trend line being right there. That's the issue. Unless you have it out like this, then maybe, then yeah, you could definitely take buys. Then you would have enough room to get some longs in. But if you're just using this trend line, these two peaks right here, then that gets a bit iffy. So I'm not too sure. I'm gonna keep this longer term one up because I think if price were to break this, it would hold more value to it. So that's what I'm going to do. GJ. Yep. Upward channel on the daily 4 hour. We have another, no, yeah, that's the daily trend line. On the 4 hour, we have this downwards short-term trend line, which I honestly think price will probably just break above this and then retest it as support to then possibly take some buys back up. If that doesn't happen, then sells would be good after a break of this support zone and this trend line to get a retest maybe up in here. And if that doesn't happen, then another good selling opportunity would be after a break of this support, retest as resistance, get possibly get an entry, and then take sells back down. Euro GBP. So, yep. Daily trend line. We're currently at the trend line right now. So we could bounce away or we could just break through and then continue back up. Who knows? I think price will probably just break above and then retest. But if that doesn't happen and we do start to bounce away, if you go onto the hourly chart, you can get some nice selling opportunities here with a break and retest with the trend. USD CAD, yeah, we're just kind of in this upward channel, but we're also ranging right now. We are bouncing away from this trend line area. I'm not going to be taking any sells. What I'm going to be waiting for is just a retracement all the way back into the zone, because if we come back all the way into the zone, we also have this this trend line area here. So if we get some nice rejection wicks, I would definitely be taking buys here with then a profit target of at least a 1-to-1. NZD USD. Let's look at the daily real fast. So we have this upwards trend line and then this downwards trend line. And recently we did bounce off of this upwards trend line from the daily. So going into the 4 hour, we also broke above the resistance, turned it into support. If we break above this and retest as support, we'd be breaking out of this shorter term 4 hour trend line. And then this would be a good area for buys. Yeah, right there. And also if price does that, we can look for buys. And then for sells, obviously price would have to break below this, retest, and then go down. And then obviously after that, yeah, something like that. It's interesting. Very interesting. Okay. GBP odd. Overall on the daily, we do have this downwards trend line. But if you're going to look in the grand scheme of things, we were going up, but now this is just like a huge range by the looks of it. I mean, it doesn't really have any clear direction, but if I go down to the 4 hour, the direction kind of clears up, and I'd say we're definitely heading down. So, and we also broke out of this trend line and this support zone. So if we get a retrace back into this as resistance and some rejection candles, we can take sells back down. And if that doesn't happen, obviously break and retest with the trend, take sells right up in here. And that would be that. So that is all the possible setups I'm looking to take for this week and or weeks to come. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you took some value away from this video. And I hope you all have a great trading week.